Welcome to this video lecture on design of shunt field winding in the topic design of field systems from third unit design of DC machines in the subject design of electrical apparatus. So design of field systems includes the following. Actually the field system consists of field poles, pole shoe and field coil. And the field coil can be shunt field coil or series field coil, or it can be a combination of shunt and series field winding. Usually the shunt field winding will be, the thickness of shunt field winding will be lesser and the thickness of series field winding will be more. Suppose if the machine is shunt machine, the entire space is occupied only by the shunt field winding. If it is a series machine, the entire space is occupied only by the series field coil. But if it is a compound machine, 80% of the winding space is occupied by the shunt field winding and 20% of the winding space will be occupied by the series field winding. So in the field system design, we have to design the dimensions of the pole and dimensions of the field winding. So the factors to be considered for the design of field winding includes mmf per pole and flux density of the pole. Loss dissipated from the surface of the field coil. So actually this section is the surface of the field coil. So the field copper losses will be produced as well as the field core loss will also be produced. So the whatever the heat generated through the losses taken place in the field system will be dissipated finally from the outer space of the field coil. So loss dissipated from the surface of the field coil will be calculating, and this loss will depends upon the resistance of the field coil as well as the area of cross section of the field coil. So area of cross section of the field coil will depends upon the current density of the field conductors. So these are all the factors we are going to consider, and the typical values of various constants range is given below. So BP is the pole flux density 1.2 to 1.7 Webers per meter square. ATFN is the ampere turn, field ampere turns at loaded condition. So that is 1.1 to 1.25 times of armature ampere turns. So field ampere turns at full load condition is 1.1 to 1.25 times of armature ampere turns. And QF is the loss dissipation, that is 700 watts per meter square for this field system. And SF is the copper space factor. Copper is the conductor used in this field system. So for that, the space factor for the field conductors is 0.4 to 0.75, and depth of field coil. So usually the depth will be assumed, and the rho is the resistivity of the field conductors, and delta F is the current density of the field conductors. So these are all the typical values given. So we will be selecting while designing the programs. So the field system, as just now we have discussed, includes the design of field pole and design of field winding. So first we are going to start with the design of shunt field winding. So design of shunt field winding includes the following designs, that is dimensions of the main field pole, that is this field pole design and then winding design. So first we are going to consider for shunt field winding, then we will be discussing for series field winding. So that too will be there in the compound machine. So first we are going to design the shunt field winding. So that includes the dimensions of the main field pole, then 5 dimensions of the field coil, and current through shunt field winding, resistance of the field coil, dimensions of the field conductor, number of turns in the field coil, and losses in the field coil. So these are all what we are going to take one by one. Dimension, first one is the dimensions of the main field pole. Field pole can be rectangular or cylindrical in construction. So if it is rectangular pole, so these are the dimension. This dp is the width of the pole, and this hp is the height of the pole body, and hs is the height of the pole shoe. S represents shoe. Okay, p represents pole. So pole and shoe, and this lp is the length of the pole. Okay, and this is the width of the pole in a rectangular pole construction, and it is a circular pole or cylindrical pole construction. So this dp is the diameter of the pole, and as usual it is height of the pole and height of the shoe. Usually the depth of field will be assumed, and this leakage coefficient value to calculate the flex in the pole body will be assumed for different capacity of the machine in this ranges. Leakage coefficient CL value, different value ranges for different capacity of the machine. So flex in the pole body is this leakage coefficient multiplied with the flex per pole. Okay, this flex is known to as, so flex through the pole body, because the flex through different sections of the magnetic circuit will be different in the machine. So already we have discussed the flex through the pole, and this flex through the pole is going to be CL multiplied with this flex. So area of the pole body, because we are calculating the dimensions of the field pole. So first we are calculating the area of the pole body, AP, that is flex density. So flex density of the pole is assumed between 1.2 to 1.7 Webers per meter square. Okay, so flex density is 1.2 to 1.7 Webers per meter square, and so we are calculating this area of pole body by knowing the value of flex in the pole body and flex density in the pole. So we are getting the area of the pole body. So this area of the pole body we are calculating by knowing the flex and flex density of the pole. And for different types of field pole, that is if it is circular pole, we can calculate the diameter of the pole body. In a circular pole, we will be calculating the diameter and then the height, and in a rectangular pole, we will be calculating this width and height. Okay. And so if it is a circular pole and the area is pi r square, okay, r is d by 2. So pi dp square by 4. So this is the area of pole body in a circular pole. So from this we can, already we have calculated this AP from this formula. Calculating area of the pole body is common for both circular pole and rectangular pole. Then to calculate diameter in case of circular pole, from this area formula, so dp we are calculating square root of 4 into AP divided by 5 will be giving the diameter of the pole body. Suppose if it is a rectangular cross section, we have to calculate the length of the pole as well as the width of the pole. Okay, see here. So if it is circular, only this diameter is sufficient, but if it is a rectangular pole, we have to calculate two more dimensions, that is the width of the pole BP and the length of the pole LP we have to calculate. So that the length of the pole we are calculating from the main dimension of the armature. So L is the main dimension of the armature. From that we have to subtract 10 to 15 mm. So this is 10 mm, 10 mm to 15 mm. We can subtract from the main dimension armature length, so that we will be getting the length of the pole. And the net length of the pole is 90% of length of the pole, because length of the armature includes the thickness of insulation. So excluding the thickness of insulation is the net length. So LPI is the net length of the pole we are calculating. So then area of the pole with respect to the dimension is, area of the pole is dp multiplied with LP. So LP, for LP we are calculating LPI, net length we are calculating. So this dp multiplied with LPI is the area of the pole, So area of the pole already known to us. LPI we are calculating. Length of the pole we are calculating. So that also known to us. That is 90% of the length of the pole, and length of the pole is 10 to 15 mm less than the main dimension length of the armature. So these two parameters are known, so that we can calculate the width of the pole in a rectangular pole section. So we have calculated one dimension, that is this width and length in case of rectangular cross section, or diameter in case of circular pole cross section we have calculated. Then we need to calculate the height of the pole. Height of the pole is similar in both cases. So height of the pole body is actually this it is a height of the pole body. Okay, height of the pole body is HP, pole shoe is HS. So we are calculating the height of the pole body HP as height of the field coil plus thickness of the insulation and clearance. And HP, once if HP is calculated, adding that with HS, we will be getting the entire height of the pole PL. So already we have discussed in the magnetic sector design, this HPL is the height of the pole. So that includes pole body plus pole shoe height. Okay, pole body is the rectangular section, and height of the pole shoe we will be taking at the center because it is a arc like structure. So at the center we will be considering the height of the pole shoe. So height of the entire pole is height of the pole plus height of the shoe, and height of the pole body is height of the field winding plus thickness of insulation. See here. So height of the pole body is height of the field winding. See here, we can clearly see. So height of the field winding plus insulation and clearance of this field winding, that will give the height of the field pole. So we are calculating the height of the field pole as HP plus HS. HP in turn height of the field winding plus thickness of insulation and clearance. So that will give the dimensions of the pole. So we have completed dimensions of the main field pole, that is width, length and height of the field pole in a rectangular section. If it is a circular pole, we have calculated the diameter and height of the field pole. So the first point we have completed in the design of shunt field winding, dimensions of the main field pole we have completed. Then we have to go to the dimensions of the field coil. Okay, dimensions of the field coil. So that actually this is the dimensions of the field coil for rectangular field pole, and this is for a circular cylindrical field pole, and this is the winding, that is dimensions of field coil in a rectangular pole section, and this is in a circular field pole section. And if it is rectangular, so as you know, this is the height of the field pole, or that is height of the pole body or height of the field winding. And so the center line is the mean turn length. Actually we will be having inner turn, this inner rectangular thick line represents the inner diameter, inner length of the winding, and this is the outer length of the field winding, and the center represents mean length of field winding. Okay, so in other dimension it is shown here. So this is one side dimension, that is this vertical section is shown here, and in the horizontal view you can see that this is the this is actually depth of the field winding. This shorter length is the depth of the field winding BP, and longer side is the length of the field winding LP and BP. That is already we have calculated in the previous section. So then this is the depth of the field coil. DF is the depth of the field coil, and LMT is the mean length of the field turn. So depth we will be assuming, then we will be calculating mean turn length of the field winding by knowing the field pole dimension. So LMT will be calculated from the pole dimensions and by assuming a depth of the field coil. Okay. So in detail we will discuss about the design of field coil in the next video lecture. Thank you for listening.